K-DEE, baby. K-DEE is a rapper out of Los Angeles, California, who released a dope project, Ass, Gas, or Cash, back in 1994. He was also featured on albums by Mac 10 and the Westside Connection. He was down with the Lench mob, and he was one of Ice Cube's closest friends. He even had a group with Cube before Cube joined NWA. K-DEE has a very interesting story. I got the chance to interview K-DEE, and we discussed his career. In this first clip, he talks about growing up in South Central, him and Ice Cube getting hit up by 8 Trays, and hooking up with Sir Jinx and Ice Cube to form the group CIA, Criminals in Action.
South Central LA.
Okay.
Yeah, not too far from Inglewood, not too far from Gardena.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That famous little area that Dub C and JD talk about, that Imperial and Western area. Back then, bro, it was treacherous, man. You had to be in your P's and Q's, bro. Like, for real. I mean, y'all remember walking down the street as a youngin', man, and, you know what I'm saying, cats walking up to me a little older than me, patting my pockets, you know what I'm saying, telling me to break bread. You know what I'm saying? So, and I remember a couple of times me and Cube getting up the bus. We like in the 8th grade, getting up the bus, and some 8 Trays pull up on us, like, where y'all from, and hop out on us. You know what I'm saying? So it was going down back in the days, man. I mean, you know, we survived it. It wasn't all bad, but I mean, you had to play it safe and move correctly, man. And, you know, stay in your P's and Q's out here. I never really thought about getting into hip hop. You know, it was really Cube who pulled me in. Me and Cube ended up going to, we stayed in the same area. I didn't really know him before we got bused in junior high school to a school out in the valley, you know, all white community. You know, we got bused out there. 7th grade, you know, I didn't really too much know him or mess with him, but in the 8th grade, we figured out that we had a couple of classes together, and he was like, oh, you to do the ride on my bus. So we started clicking up in the classes, and we just clicked from there, man, and became cool friends. And he was really a real big fan of Ice-T, and he used to listen to Ice-T a lot, man. And you know, one day in his typing class, and he came out, and he's like, man, K-DEE, I wrote this rap. I'm like, what are you gonna rap? And he spit it to me, and it was fire. I'm like, it was first rap. I'm like, bruh. He's like, man, we should start a group. I'm like, start a group? I'm like, man, all right. He's like, yeah, we should start a group. Man, we know we got Jinx. And Jinx was, you know, as everybody know, Dr. Dre's cousin. Mm-hmm. You know, Jinx had he had some equipment. You know, he stayed on the street from Ice Cube. So we was like, man, we just went down to Jinx's house and put it together, man. We should go in his garage and do a little rehearsals. And next thing you know, we present some stuff to Dre. And the next thing you know, we performing out in Compton at the old Skateland Doodles. And that's where it all started from, man. That was the beginning. If you got on Wax, bro, you was special. You know what I'm saying? To hear your stuff on the radio was special. To see your face on the tape cover, you know what I'm saying, was special. I mean, like, now it don't really mean that everybody got it. But I mean, just even like how cats is giving away beats now. Back in the days, bro, you had to, like, even if you was a nobody, you got your beats, you got paid at least $3,500 for a beat if you was a new cat. You know what I'm saying? A new cat. Like, you didn't have to have a name, but if you had a beat, the minimum price you would get was $3,500. You know what I'm saying? Now, cat, you get free beats all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Studio time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't too many in-house studios like it is now. You can just open up a laptop, man. You got your computer. Mm-hmm. Back then, we had to actually go to you know what I'm saying, a credible studio with some good sound to make a cool little record. You know what I'm saying? So the whole process, man, was a lot more deeper and crazier than it is now. It's easy, bro. You can, like I say, pull up your laptop, man, and download a beat. They got Fruity Loops and all that, man. Hey, get your little microphone, plug it in. You got a little studio right there. So the process is way easier than it was back in the days.
Hit the like button for me one time if you love that real West Coast hip hop history-ish. K-DEE is someone who doesn't get recognized enough, in my opinion. And that's why I do this show. To give him some love and to give people their flowers while they're still here. In this next clip, K-DEE discusses one of his CIA songs ending up in the Michael Jackson I'm Bad video. He also talks about Ice Cube leaving CIA to join NWA and the late, great Eazy-E.
We had Stereo Crew first, which is funny is because we actually got signed to Epic Records. We actually got signed to Epic Records and put out a song called She's a Skag on a 12-inch, which actually got played in the Michael Jackson, I think I'm Bad video. You know, the one with Wesley Snipes acting in
the subway and shit?
Man, in the beginning, if you listen in the beginning, I think they was in the room, you can hear in the background, hear a little bit, and my part is the one that's playing in the background. I'm like, whoa. And me and Q was watching it when they premiered the video. Me and Q was at my house watching it. We watching the premiere of the video, and we hear the beat come on. You know, it was a distinctive beat.
Damn, that's funny, dude. That's hilarious, yo.
It was it was a distinctive beat. So we heard the beat. We looked at each other. And next thing you know, and very faintly, you can hear my voice rapping. We like, what? They playing our song. But back then, it was because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we was the lowest group on Epic. And they probably was like looking for a song they could play in the background. They ain't got to play nobody.
Yeah.
So they like, oh, they go, well, just that one. No, play that one.
Dude.
But I mean, we were stoked, though. We like, man, our song was in Michael Jackson Bad video. So, you know, that was a cool little situation. But then right after that, we scrapped Stereo Crew and we changed our name to CIA, which was, you know, stood for Criminals in Action. Well, Crew in Action at first, and then we changed to Criminals in Action. Signed to Lonzo, distinctly with Lonzo with Crew Cut Records, and we put out that little EP with the 3 songs on it. And man, that was it. We was out there sounding like the Beastie Boys, man, yelling and screaming.
Oh, shit. Any good Eazy-E stories?
One thing about Eazy, when he was recording, them glasses he wore all the time. He would even wear them when he's recording in the booth. It's because he would tell everybody to turn the lights out and he'll put his glasses on because he didn't like to look at nobody when he was recording. He did not like to look at nobody when he was recording, so he would put his Los on and they would cut the lights out and then he would do his thing. And he didn't want to be a rapper in the beginning. Eazy didn't want to be a rapper. He didn't like his voice. Dre is the one who convinced him, like, bro, yes, your voice is tight. People gonna love your voice, but he didn't like it, and he didn't want to be a rapper. So they had to like push him to be a rapper.
K-DEE's classic album, Ass, Gas, or Cash, was released in 1994. 1994 was a great year in hip hop. In my opinion, the early to mid 90s was the best era in hip hop. Maybe it's because that's when I was in high school. I don't know. What do you think? Comment down below. In your opinion, what era, not necessarily decade, I'm talking what era of hip hop do you think was the best? But let's take 1994, specifically when Ass, Gas, or Cash was released. Let me give you an idea of what albums dropped that year. Nas dropped Illmatic. Biggie dropped Ready to Die. Outkast dropped Southern Playalistic, Cadillac, Funky Music. I mean, Diggable Planets dropped, Scarface, Gangstar, Warren G, Redman, come on now, Da Brat. This is all 1994. Above the Law, MC8, Spice One, the Fugees. The competition was real. K-DEE's album, Ass, Gas, or Cash, was dropped the same year as all of these classics. Here is K-DEE discussing his album, Ass, Gas, or Cash.
Like I said, I never set out to be a rapper. I really never even felt that I even had good rapper skills. In the beginning, in the CIA, you know, in the CIA days, most of those lyrics Q wrote. Q wrote a lot of those lyrics for me and Jinx. So in the beginning, I worked for Street Knowledge Records. I didn't rap. After we stopped the Stereo Crew and CIA and Q left NWA and formed Street Knowledge or whatever, I came in, I worked for Street Knowledge. I was an A&R. And I started seeing, Yo-Yo and Cam and the Lench Mob and everybody come up, and I was like, wait a minute, I started rapping with Q. It's like, I'm sitting in this office, I'm seeing these dudes touring, and so I'm like, man, I had to put Q in my office, man, like Q, right? Hey man, what's up, man? I'm gonna, oh, you wanna rap? I'm like, man, what's happening? And when I said that, it was like his eyes lit up, and he like, man, the next day we was in it. We in there coming up with ideas, because he knew me, I wasn't on the gangster tip. Me, I was all, when we was growing up, he already knew I was all about the ladies. I was on the player tip. So we already knew which way we was going with it. We was going to player tip totally. Wasn't nothing gangster about me, bro. I ain't no G. I ain't no the crip walking. I ain't none of that. I was none of that, bro. I was strictly about the lay. I ain't trying to fight you on. I mean, I will if I have to, but I ain't trying to fight, bro. I'm too busy trying to get money and get with these women.
Yep.
So that was my thing. So when it came time to do my album, Cube, only thing Cube used to mostly rap about was the gangster stuff. So when it came to talking about this player and pimp stuff, oh man, we had a ball, bro. We went in there, man, and just start cooking up all kind of stuff. And he knew that Boosie was one of my favorite cats. He hit up Boosie. Boosie came through, man, and played. Not only did he appear on a couple of my songs, he actually played bass on like half of my album. Damn. Bernie Worrell played the mini moog and keys on about the same amount of tracks. So I had the Parliament aspect on half of my album just with them two, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a beautiful thing, man. We would come in the studio with nothing. I mean, I wouldn't have no lyrics. We wouldn't have no beat. He would come in, he'll put the bottom beat down. We'd call in a bass player, or we already had Boosie there. We'd, DJ come in and scratch some stuff. And I'd be in another room, you know what I'm saying, jotting my lyrics down, man. And that's how we came in with Thought I Saw Pussycat. Like I swear, man, we came in with nothing. We didn't have nothing. Dude came in, put the bottom beat down, came up with a bass line, put the scratches in, got the girls come in and sing. Matter of fact, the girls was what's the girls called from the Brides of Funkenstein, from the Funkadelics.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they came in and sung the Thought I Saw Pussycat thing for. Man, I came in with my lyrics and within an hour and a half, man, we had a tight ass song. So it was just a cool time. Because Q was feeling it, you know what I'm saying? So he was really in tune with. He would come in the middle of the night with ideas, or what you think about this, K-DEE, or you know what I'm saying? So it was just, I don't know, man. It was a fun time, man. We was touring, making money, and everything was just lovely, man. Everything was just lovely. So it wasn't no stressing, man. We were just, I don't know, it was just a good time, man. It was just a good time.
That Ask Gas or Cash album was a breath of fresh air. At one time, it was my favorite album. To this day, I stream songs from Ask Gas or Cash. It's a vibe. Very sing-songy. Another day, dollar, holla if you hear me. I mean, he was a Mac in an era of gangsters. I loved his vibe. His music, did it make you want to go out and harm a motherfucker? His music made you want to go to school the next day and Mac to the broads. Not to mention the production on the album was dope. I recommend everyone out there who loves that 90s West Coast hip-hop sound to go out and stream some songs from K-DEE's album, Ass, Gas, or Cash. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already, and if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. Let's get back to the K-DEE interview. In this next clip, K-DEE discusses the East Coast West Coast war that eventually took the lives of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. It was real back then. He also discusses a riot breaking out at a concert on the East Coast when he was on stage performing with Ice Cube.
Crazy time, man.
Yeah.
Crazy time, man.
Yeah.
It really had us. It really had us on edge about touring. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we had to go to New York. I mean, we wasn't scared, but we just knew, all right, bro, be on your P's and Q's, tighten up. You know, we going to the East Coast. We know this beef is going on. Tighten up. So it would be tension. It would be a little tension because we would, we would be on our P's and Q's up there, making sure everything go cool. Yeah.
A horrible time.
Yeah, it was horrible, man. But at the time, we stood firm on what we believed, and we believed that the East Coast didn't show us no respect. So we was like, fuck y'all. And we stood on that, and we was riding with that, like for real, by any means. We was like, hey, because we really felt disrespected. We felt like they didn't give us our love like we gave them their love. So yeah, it was real. It wasn't nothing fake about that, man.
Yeah.
It was really real, man. I remember being in New York at times, man, and the feeling, bro, it just wasn't a cool feeling. I mean, we still went out there and did our thing, but it just wasn't a cool feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And I even remember performing on a couple of East Coast cities and just not really getting the full love, you know what I'm saying? We was in Connecticut one time, man. Dudes just wasn't really giving us the love, you know what I'm saying? There was some people were, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I opened up for Cube one night and I'm doing my thing and I can see a couple of cats, you know what I'm saying, saying they little East Coast stuff and fuck West Coast or whatever. Damn. So I go backstage and then Cube come out and then I'm the hype man with him for, you know, a couple times. And now the same dudes that was giving me bullshit, now they all, you know, they into the show. So I'm like, oh, y'all. And so y'all didn't know who I was, so now y'all like, okay, West Coast, now Cube out here, whatever. But still in the midst of that, some other cats still wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, wasn't digging the show too much, or maybe they was, but I know from standing on stage behind Cube, man, I'm looking in the audience, man, all of a sudden I just see this bottle just come, and it's like it was in slow motion, just, and Cube rapping, and you can look at this dude to this day and look up under his eye. I can't remember if his left or his right eye, but he got a dark mark up in his eye. The bottle plucked him right in his eye, up and split it right up, you know, right up above his cheek.
Damn.
The dude, he kind of like, you know, stumbled a little bit, you know, just like, you know, buckled just for a minute, but he kept rapping. The dude kept going. I think he grabbed a towel or whatever and put it on and he kept rapping. But right after the song was over, we rushed him backstage because, you know, the backstage door was right on the stage. And it was crazy the way that setup was, because the only way out was back through the stage. And when he left the stage, the crowd got ruling, you know, they got out of control, man. They started throwing bottles at the door, busting at the, you know what I'm saying, trying to bam on the door to get to us. Damn. It was a crazy night, man. It was crazy. So yeah, that little West Coast, East Coast stuff, man.
That shit was real. The East Coast, West Coast beef that eventually led to the untimely demises of Tupac and Biggie Smalls, that was a sad time in hip hop. Everything leading up to it was fun for a fan of hip hop. The back and forth songs, hit 'em up. If Faye had twins, she'd probably have two Pacs. Get it? Two Pacs. I mean, they were going back and forth. Suge Knight at the Source Awards, that infamous night when he said, if you don't want your producers dancing all in the videos, all on the records, come to Death Row. That was huge. They were in New York that night. Big situation back then. I mean, trailers were getting shot up. The Dog Pound song, New York, New York, one of my favorite classic songs to this day. Snoop was kicking over buildings in New York. That was huge. It was fun as a fan leading up to that, but I never in my wildest imagination knew how serious it was and that it would lead to Pac and Biggie losing their life. Unfortunately, back in 2019, we lost another great, Nipsey Hussle. In this final clip, K-DEE discusses the late great Nipsey Hussle and his importance to hip hop.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I can't lie. I shed a tear too a few times. You know, a few times, bro. I mean, it's sad, man, because it took away a brother. You don't know what his potential was. You don't know what this brother would have became, man. He had so much potential, man, and he was moving in the right direction, man, creating jobs and bettering this community. And just for him to go out the way he went out, man, it was just, you know what I'm saying, just a sad situation, man. It's just, this world is pretty messed up, bro. Like, yeah. Really, the world is really messed up. We got some messed up things going on in this world, man. And I don't know, bro. I just really don't know, man. But it seems like his father said, but which one of my buddies said before I heard his father say it, it seemed like the dude was on this earth to serve a purpose, and it seemed like he served his purpose, because look what's going on around right now, man. Yeah, everybody uniting, man. I mean, people talking about they finna continue his legacy. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to bet some of these cats who got money now is gonna step up and start doing some of the things. I ain't gonna say a lot of them are. It's gonna be a few that's gonna step up. That's gonna do what he did, man. That's gonna be up here buying property, creating jobs. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to look at like death has been a good thing, but I think in this situation it kind of will be, man, because you got Bloods and Crips out here uniting on some serious ish. Like not like back in '92. I mean, yeah, it was some truth in the '92, but it just feels a little different now. Back then, I heard it. I heard people saying peace, peace. You seen it on pictures, you seen it on interviews, but I still saw a lot of these cats like F that, man. I ain't with that.
Thank you so much for checking out the program. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Before you head out, please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. I have a lot more interviews coming, and I have a lot of interviews in my backlog, so you can definitely check them out if you go to my video section and just go down that rabbit hole of some of my great interviews I've done. These are all people that I grew up listening to. K-DEE, man. I mean, if you had told me 25, 30, 35 years ago that I'd be interviewing K-DEE, I'd have been like, man, forget about it. And I know he may not be the biggest rap star. He only had one album. But you know what? To me, this was a blast, and this was definitely something that I'm going to check off my bucket list. Shout out to K-DEE for joining the show, and please remember to stream K-DEE's music still. I don't even know if he gets paid for it. I'm sure some label executive is getting paid for it. You know what I mean? But, you know, still, support dude. If he has a concert in your area, go check him out. K-DEE, baby. Lench Mob. Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. I know your story is, man, if I could have been a fly on the wall like you guys, you know, back then, and seeing who you guys were linking with, this whole lab cab thing. I wish they found those tapes, but that could be some gold right there, man. Of
right.
EMC.
I wonder, you know who could? Yeah, Romai probably got all that stuff. I know Romai and the Far Side. They've been doing their separate things. Where Fat Lip Trey, Fat Lip Trey and Imani been on the road, and Romai separated himself for whatever reason. I guess they internal things. But I remember I think it was Romai's crib. And he started doing a lot of stuff separately with different acts and shit, producing and whatnot. So I'm sure them lost files are somewhere, man. I'm sure that would be dope to find, right?
Yeah, for real, dude.
You know, but we've all recorded like Echo Sound. I don't know if you ever heard of Echo Sound, but
of course,
Echo Sound was in Glendale. Yeah, Echo was like, man, notorious for just hip hop, bro. When we was in there, when we mixed our album, fucking Eric B was there. We were mixing them down the final. We were mixing down the final. What was the outro? So we were kind of like freestyling. If you listen to the album on another level, our only debut album, at the end, the last song, Eric B was in the studio. Rakim wasn't there, but Eric B was there. But still, at that time, it was like, that's motherfucking Eric B. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were still fans of hip hop, even though we were in it. And I think back then, though, cast pride, we was a little more prideful, right? Because we was trying to not compete, but we thought we was the next niggas. So we was like, you know, that's Eric B, but what up, y'all? This West Coast. And we gave his props for show, but still a little nervous, like, damn, that's motherfucking Eric B is on deck. So once we got comfortable with Laylaw and Cube, it took a while to get comfortable with that, even though my pops was homeboys with was homeboys with Suave and different people, and Tone Loc and my dad were close, and that's actually how we got our deal. Was my pops, we did the demo, and my pops gave it to Tone, and Tone was like, yeah, it's cool, but I'm saying what I do. This the nigga you need to give it to right here. And Law was like smoking a blunt, was like, hey, let's go in the car and listen to it. And back then we had the chip phones. Remember them? Niggas had the chip cell phones or whatever. We was at Magic Mountain that day, right? We had Six Flags, and it was like TLC performing or some shit. I always tell the story because it means so fucking much to me. But my pops like probably beat me, right? So I call him back, and he's like, my nigga, you got to get over here right now. Just to play law, you just got to deal. And he talking fast. Well, Priority and Cube and he's naming all these names. I'm like, Cube and wait, Dad, you talking too fast. We come now. And I'm like, we had Six Flags, man. We just got in. We got to do it tomorrow. And so, no bullshit. Him and Law had listened to the demo, and Law was looking for a group for Law House to partner up with Cube to put through Priority, because at that time Cube had just did his solo thing and he was kind of just deep in there with Priority, and they were just giving him the open door to do shit. So him and Law partnered up, and Law was looking for a group that was different than everything else he had. I think he had Cocaine and you know, a bunch of spinoffs of Above the Law, and he was working with Michelle and different shit, but he just wanted a different style group. And he was like, this is perfect. You know what I'm saying? These niggas from the hood, but they got a different kind of style. They hip hop, but on some player flow shit. Oh, perfect. We want to meet them. So like the next day, we all get together and we think we're about to go somewhere far. My nigga does. We went 2 blocks up the street. I live on 62nd. I lived on 62nd. And my folks are still over there. But we went to 59th. So, you know what I'm saying? You know how close that is. We went to 59th and the same street, Buckler, make a right, and boom, we here. We're like, wait, what? Niggas is this close? It was D-Mac's house. And D-Mac, you know, D-Mac produced Ta-Dow. What else D-Mac? California Love with Law. All kind of fucking songs. I could go on. I'm drawing a blank now, but hella shit for Tupac. Like, he would pull shit out of his DAT player sometimes, out of his ADATs and DAT players with Pac, and niggas having just talking. He needed to let some of that shit go. I know D-Mac still got all that shit too. You know what I'm saying? But we go up there, and they had the demo on deck, and they were like, yo, we want to sign y'all. And, you know, we listened to the demo. It was like 4 songs on the demo. They were like, we want to just finish the album and let's rock, like, right away. And we was like looking at each other like, word, and Cube, and they keep mentioning Cube is going to be a part of this. And we're like, okay, shit, Church, Cube, that's my favorite artist right now, you know? Let's do it. Cube was super hot at that time, you know what I'm saying? And had just branched off from NWA and, you know, was on his conscious shit and, you know, was one of my pop's favorite artists besides KRS-One. My pops was big into KRS-One and loved Cube and shit. So my pops was, you know, he was a young father. He had me when he was a dub. So, you know, at that time, shit, he was 30. Shit, I was 15, 16. He was 35. You know what I'm saying? So he was young too. So he chilling with Law and them, blazing and whatnot. And then Cube comes through like a week later. As we're recording, and just kind of solidifies that this shit is real and we're about to really run this through Priority, and we're all just sitting there smoking 19 blunts in a row. We high as giraffe pussy at this time because we young, you know what I'm saying? And he's smoking gas at the time. He probably got, you know how Law did it. Law have a whole QP just laid out, just rolling one after one, and hit one, pass it to you, roll another one, and the whole time we talking, he rolling up and firing another one. It's probably like 8 blunts going around, and it's only 7 cats in the room, you know? And so it was surreal. You know what I'm saying? That whole experience going from doing this demo tape and really grinding it out. Stick's mom used to always say, rest in peace, Stick. But Mama Pat would always say, when you niggas blow up, I want a new house. I want this, because we would record in the back of her house, and she would have to go to work the next day. And she'd be like, you nigga, how much longer? One more take, you know, he need to bust the verse one more time and we done, or whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? Or he got to put these last scratches on the hook or whatever. And finally, my grandfather was like, just come to my studio. And he was big into jazz, right? So he was more like at the jazz studio, but he had a reel-to-reel setup to where we could take it from the small little-ass bunko back house little joint to a little step up to try to finish the demo. And so we did that and finished the joint, gave it to Pops. Like I said, he gave it to Tone. Tone slid it to Law. And then Law and Cube kind of, you know, put the whole play together. And we started recording, bro. Like, we even used, I think, What's That You Say was on the demo. And we used, that might be the only song from the demo that ended up making an album. But every song that we did after that was like, going on the album, because there was another group called Another Level, and it was an R&B group. That's right. And we were trying to break out before them. We were like, oh shit, it's another group, damn. And so they were like, no, we're gonna get y'all single out first, so y'all, you know what I'm saying? And so we hit What's That You Say out, and so my whole life changed at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit was on the radio. We was on the box. You remember the box?
Of course, dog. Hell yeah. They
box
shut the
was
box
like,
down actually because they had some payola concerns, man. They were well, not concerns. It was some legit shit, but yeah, a lot of companies were paying to have their song. That's why you heard Bone Thugs and Harmony over and over again. You heard Pyru Love
you
over
heard
and
us
over
over.
again. You know, you heard certain songs E40 over and because they were
Over and over. Yeah. Because it was so cheap to pay for it. A label just say, shit, here, I'm going to pay for all day. Play this shit all day long, you know? And so at that time, it was a trip because I'd be sitting in the barbershop, you know, in either Slauson or in Inglewood or wherever my homies was cutting at. I'll follow them around to their shops, my homie Bill or wherever he was cutting at. And that motherfucking video would come on the box back to back to back to back. They were like, damn, you niggas is cracking. We couldn't even believe it.
Yeah.
Then you jump in the car and it's on Power and the Beat. And we was just like, yo. So we was, you know, hood celebrities for a little while. You know, they shot the video and whatnot. And yeah, man, it was a dope experience, man.
You said that the homicide rate is skyrocketing. It's like that in LA, man, and a couple of other cities, Philadelphia. I mean, it's just really. Why do you think we're going back to you know, homicide rates that we haven't seen since the 90s?
Oh, well, with the gang shit, I can say that you have too many niggas coming from other spots trying to run other niggas' spots. Like you have phone call OGs now. Like I phone call and you make a dude OG over hood now. Like it's not like if I'm in California and I got a line in Georgia, it's a phone call that make a nigga OG now. You don't know this nigga, you don't know what he about, you don't know if he real, he fake, he flaw. He might have came to California, met the dudes. All of a sudden you come back, you're a Georgia OG now. But you might be a pussy motherfucker over here. You know, you might be the softest thing it is in the world over this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the game and the dynamics of the game has changed. Everybody wants this money. They don't care what they do to get the money. Everybody wants this fame. It's being gangsters. They don't know how to go about being a real gangster.
Man, OG Head, I would love to leave on a positive note. I know you work with children. Give us an idea, man, you know, of what you do with the youth and how you're trying to, you know, make a change.
All right, me and this is actually a couple of different fronts. We have something called Our Community Matters that we do out of Millersville, we do out of Macon. When we get the youth and we take them out, like we take them to the aquarium, we sit down and talk to them. We try to mentor to them. You know, we have bike giveaways, book bag giveaways. You know, we try to do things and tell them like you know, for a long time I looked at people that were talking to the youth and they always try to talk like politically correct. Like I'm not gonna cuss, I'm not gonna say this, I'm not gonna say that. But these same kids are cussing in all this other shit. You know, it's like you trying to talk to them in a way that they're not respecting you for talking to them like that. You know what I'm saying? So we came up with a formula of how to talk to them on a relatable level. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna talk to you like you talk to me. Like I'm not gonna play with you like you're some innocent like you're some innocent baby, but I know you out there terrorizing the neighborhood. You know, like I'm trying to give you a pat on the hand when you need to just be told what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? So like me and a couple of the homies, you know, that have got older, we took it upon ourselves to get like the non-profit Our Community Matters. You know, I have my homie Mr. Big Man who has a Superpowers podcast. You know, he is into mentoring and tapping into your spiritual powers. You know, it's knowing yourself, finding self in the process of becoming who you are. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people trying to put back and give back. You have the up and coming artists like Drip Goo, Billy Howard, all these people trying to give back to the community and do things to kind of like bend the cycle. Because, you know, when you have a small town, everybody knows everybody pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up with somebody that knows something or knows your folks or something like that. So it makes no sense to not intercede before the shit gets to a level where it shouldn't be, you know, to try to stop the bullshit from going on.
Man, really appreciate everything you're doing out there in the streets, you know, to at least do your part. Let me ask you, man, I know you work with some musical acts and, you know, you got your YouTube channel. I want you to tell everybody where they could find you and promote anything you want, man. The floor is yours, dude.
Oh, man, if I could promote anything, man, I'm going to promote Macon, Georgia, man. Don't matter who it is or what they are for Macon, Georgia, as long as they're some real individuals, man, you fuck with them. If you see that hush movement, hustle until something happen, that's one of the homies from Macon, Georgia. You see that guap rappers, that's some of the homies from Macon, Georgia. You know, the Superpowers podcast, Mr. Big Man, Sonny Campbell, you know, those are people from Macon, Georgia. Drip Goo, Cash Talk, CPH, you know, it's so many different acts and so many different, I don't want to name anybody to keep from leaving anybody out. So if you see anything from my city, man, just support it, because that's going to be the realest it get most of the time. and we're gonna let you know if it's some bullshit. We don't play like that.
Man, I really enjoyed this conversation, man. I would love to have you on in a few months, man, and just make this a reoccurring thing because I dig your vibe and everything, man.
I tell you what, though, man. You know, I'm not a selfish dude, man. I like to turn you on to some more.
Please
dudes
do.
The city, man.
I would really appreciate that, actually.
Like our city is weird, whereas people don't really like to talk to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be really, like, if you watch a lot of these blogs that go around, you know what I'm saying? You'll see they come every at night, or they come and they don't really get to talk to anybody. You know what I'm saying? But when you got certain people that are reputable people from where we're from, we can open the door to make it so you can talk to people. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to open the door, extend the invitation to you.
Please.
To like hook you up to where, like, whoever you want to talk to. If you want to talk to some mafia dudes, you want to talk to some blood dudes, you want to talk to some GD dudes,
thank you.
Whoever you want to talk to, I'll open the door for you to extend the invitation, because, like, I don't want to be the only voice for making. I can only tell you making from my story, from what I've seen and experienced. You know, I can't speak for other people and what's going on with them. I can just tell you, well, this is what I've seen. Somebody might have seen something different that's more vital than what I've seen, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm telling you from my perspective. But what I would like to do is open the door for you to go be able to talk to a lot of more people, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, and my YouTube is Gangsta Advisory South. That's what it is.
That's right. Gangsta Advisory South. Make sure you guys follow him on YouTube, Gangsta Advisory South. Here's Cat Williams' response 13 years ago after this show in Phoenix, where he basically told a Mexican heckler, if you like Mexico so much, go back.
If a person starts their heckling with F America, then that gives me the right to defend my country. I couldn't be anti-Mexican. My Mexican fan base is largely responsible for me even existing. So
I love the opening response. If you're going to say F America, then I'm going to defend my country. And that's me also. What, you say F America and then you live here? Go, if you're going to say F America, I don't care where you're from. Go to that country that you think is better than America. I'm not stopping you. No one's stopping you. Why would you want to live in a place that you say F to? I would never say F to my home. I walk in my home every day. I'm not going to walk in and be like, man, F this house. I love my house. I love my country. And that's how Cat Williams started. This is no dig at my brown homies. Cat Williams even says he wouldn't be where he is today without his Latino fan base. Latinos love Cat Williams. I'm not going to compare myself to Cat Williams. He's way up there. I'm way down here. But if I were going to keep it real, Latinos have supported me in my career more than my own people, more than black folks. Hear me out. Don't get me wrong. I have black folks who watch my show call me they're a fan of mine. I get that. That's cool. I love you. Some of you fans are weird. Fan does mean fanatic. I have supporters. Dusty, man, I listen to your show all the time. I love you, bro. Black supporters. Supporters, I truly do love you. The fans, like 70% of you can eat a D. Because the fans are the ones who, they love you until you say something that they don't like, and then they turn their back on you like that. So I don't like fans. You ever seen the movie with Wesley Snipes in the 90s called The Fan? Check that out. When someone calls you their fan, don't automatically take it as a compliment. Love my black supporters. I have black people who donate to my channel. Quite often. Whether it's super thanks or super chats. And I truly appreciate those black supporters. But if we're talking behind the scenes, people who have put me on, put me up on game, put me on their podcast, I would say 90% of my support comes from Latinos, man. American Cholo shouted me out on No Jumper. Gets no bigger than that. I mean, if he shouted me out on Joe Rogan, I'd be a little more excited. But I'll take No Jumper. So I'm saying, just explaining what Cat is saying. Cat's saying he wouldn't be here without the support of his Latino audience. I don't think I would either, helping me out in the background. 3 of the last 4 podcasts I've been on in the past year, and I will be on American Cholo's show very, very soon, depending on when you're listening to this. It might have already happened. But 3 out of the last 4 podcasts I've been on, yeah, in the past year. I'm thinking about it right now. 1 Puerto Rican cat, 2 Mexican hyenas, chicks, and American Cholo's about to put me on. Yeah, I mean, shout out to my Latinos is all I'm saying. I'm going to be directing my attention to you guys tonight, but don't take this as bashing because I 100% love you, as does Cat. But let's go back to Cat Williams saying he's not anti-Mexican, even though he just went off on this dude in Phoenix. Well, this was 13 years ago, but he went off on this dude in Phoenix who said, F America. Let's go back to Cat. I'm going to start it over, and we're just going to let it play out a bit before I cut back in.
They're heckling with F America, then that. If a person starts their heckling with F America, then that gives me the right to defend my country. I couldn't be anti-Mexican. My Mexican fan base is largely responsible for me even existing. So between them and the black community, it's really all I have. But I don't think I need to apologize for being pro-American. The guy said that all of this is still Mexico, and I was just giving him geography. This is America, greatest country in the world. So.
Greatest country in the world. And if you live here and you don't believe it's the greatest country in the world, like, go to where you think is better. And that's one thing I have a problem with when I'm watching these protests. Protests have died down, by the way. Oh, you're going to be like black folk and protest for like 3 days and then nothing and expect something to happen? Ain't going to happen. You better be prepared to protest for the next 4 years every single day. But most of you aren't, because in a week and a half, something else is going to come along and this generation is like squirrels. Oh, something else over there. Let's go that way and get upset about that. So unfortunately, it's looking like the protests are dying down. But one thing I'm looking at these protests and I'm disagreeing with heavily. I'm heavily disagreeing with the fact that I don't see many, if any, American flags. You're fighting for the right to stay here, but you're flying the flag of a foreign nation. And I get it. It's the homeland. It's the motherland. You love your motherland. I get it. But if you're fighting for the right to stay in America, shouldn't you be flying an American flag? Is all I'm saying. I've been hearing a lot about the Bronx lately, and unfortunately not in a good light. Today's story is a sad one. 14-year-old drill rapper Nadi Osama was stabbed to death. And as the timing of this recording, the person who stabbed rapper Nadi Osama was caught. And he's 15 years old. So we got 2 young black men whose life is gone. One was ended by a stab wound to the stomach, and the other threw his life away by committing the crime. Really, really sucks, man. Allegedly, there are videos of Nadi Osama, the 14-year-old killed, dissing popular rapper K Flock, tearing down his posters and things like that. And I'm not saying that the two are connected to this situation, but that's what the internet is saying. Now, before the show, I listened to some of his music. Nadi Osama, a 14-year-old drill rapper, watched a couple of his videos. And before I give my opinion, I do have to say this dude was a pretty talented rapper. I do dig the drill sound. the lyrics, the cadences and things like that. And dude had it. I don't like all the dissing of Dead Ops, and I'm not down with that, of the dissing of Dead Ops and stuff, but I do love the cadences. I do love the beats. I'm a hip hop fan, and I do like that sound. And I gotta say, Little Man had something. But what bothered me the most is the first video I see on YouTube of his. Within 5 seconds of the video, he's smoking a blunt, just taking a blunt to the dome. He's 14 years old. And then after I see him take a blunt to the dome, what I notice in the video right away also are a bunch of people around him who appear to be adults. I mean, they at least look to be 18. And no one thought to pull this man aside and say, "Hey, dog, don't hit that shit, man, on camera." I mean, I'm no gangster, but when I was a young adult, there's no way in hell I'm letting a 14-year-old kid do drugs around me. And weed is a drug, and I say that as I'm smoking it. It's a drug. I'm smoking a joint right now, but I'm an adult. I have my own home. Okay, I just got off of work. I'm not 14 years old. My brain isn't still developing. These kids are smoking weed at 11, 12, 13, 14, and that's why we're breeding, sadly, a future. I mean, look at kids nowadays. They're not even going to go there. But just look at them. You'll know what I'm talking about. What's also sad is I'm scrolling through videos on YouTube in preparation for this show, and I come across a bunch of diss videos of people, I guess they're ops of Nadi Osama, and they're smoking. They're saying they're smoking on Nadi Osama pack. They're smoking that Nadi pack. These are grown ass men, by the way. These are not. These appear to be grown ass men on, Instagram Live or whatever, and they post it on YouTube. All these channels that do that, right? You see all these goofy YouTube channels out there that just take a bunch of Instagram Live stuff and they keep you posted on who's beefing with who and who's beefing with what. I'm sure the feds love those YouTube channels, by the way, because they piece everything together for the feds. I mean, these YouTube channels who put these, who all right, this person's beefing with this person, and this is how it started. Just go to their Instagram Live, and then they'll post it on their YouTube, and then they'll put part 2, continuation from yesterday. And all the feds or cops are doing is just kicking up their feet, listening to all the names. I mean, I'm listening to these grown-ass men dissing Nadi Osama, the 14-year-old drill rapper, and then they're saying things like, yeah, such and such is next, and yeah, such and such is next. He better watch out. And their faces are clear, like their faces are there. They're not hiding their faces. They're not like, and I'm just like, oh my God, you guys are making the feds' jobs so much more easier. It's really bothersome. Because then you go and you say, yeah, you snitch, and everybody's snitching on you, and this person's a snitch, and that person's a snitch. Negro, you just gave the police everything they needed to include you in something. I mean, isn't this YSL thing teaching you dummies anything? I mean, really, they will take you down for a text message. You're selling drugs on Instagram and texting back and forth. I got your pack and this. I'm like, what are you doing, dog? But then you complain about everybody else being a snitch, right? You are literally the number one snitch. And it's sad. But yes, another 2 young men gone, black men gone, who could have been something else. Who could have been doctors, lawyers. But instead, one decided to go down the route of a drill rapper, which if you're 14, I don't suggest you start dissing ops, and he was talking about when I'm listening to the music, keep in mind he's on beat, his cadence is good, but you know, if you listen to the meat of the music, he's talking about killing ops and shooting, taking this person's head off and smoking this pack, and this is a 14-year-old. If this was my 14-year-old son and he had an Instagram and I was seeing all this shit, he would be in boarding school. He damn sure wouldn't be on a subway in I think he got killed in Harlem. Which is, you know, not the Bronx. And he wouldn't be saying he's smoking on such and such pack. And for damn sure, if my 14-year-old, I'm gonna know if my 14-year-old's rapping, right? So if I go on YouTube and I see one of his videos and within 5.8 seconds he's smoking a blunt, I'm going to that video set and I'm grabbing him by his ear and I'm bringing his little punk ass back to my house, and he's never gonna no. So where are the parents in this? Or parents, sadly. See, men, this is why you need to stick around. Because sadly, I bet this kid doesn't have a dad. Like, all I got to do is do the odds. 7 out of 10 black kids live out of wedlock, right? So there's no male figure in the house, I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess there's no male figure to say, hey, get your dumb ass over here. And I'm sorry, I'm not calling this kid dumb, but if his dad can call him dumb. Like, I can call my kid dumb if I want to, but I'm not going to call this poor 14-year-old kid who lost his life today dumb, even though he was doing dumb shit. But his dad could have said, hey, dummy, get over here. What are you doing? What are you doing ripping down those posters of that rapper? Do you not know who he's affiliated with? Like, what are you doing smoking that weed? Don't you realize what's going to happen to you? And that's why shit like this is happening. Because the number one problem in our community is that dads aren't around. If fathers stayed around, the black race, the black community, the ghettos, all that, it wouldn't even be a ghetto. We'd be Black Wall Street. It's so weird that during segregation, you know, when blacks lived here and whites lived here, like, we were doing way better. I'm not advocating segregation, but I'm just saying, like, in 1940, only something like 90%, 1950s, something like 90% of black parents stayed together. Now it's like 30% or something. 7 out of 10 kids today are born into a home where there's no father in the home. And for my slow people out there, that's called wedlock. And feel free to go ahead and look that up online. Out of wedlock. So what happened? How did we get there? Well, one other thing I forgot to say is back in those days, 40s, 50s, more black people were not Democrats. Let's just say that. I mean, the Democrat Party, for anyone who doesn't know, started the KKK. Up until the civil rights era, that it was the Democrat Party that was really not for civil rights. And then somehow, out on the Democrats just tricked black folk into thinking that they were our friends. Oh, black people, don't worry about what we've been doing to you for the past 100 years. Here, look, here's a free Obama phone. We'll call it even. What do you say? And our dumbass is just, okay. The Democrat Party said, I'll give you a bunch of stuff, but there can't be no black man in the home. Yeah, see, I'll give you all this stuff. Yeah, you'll get all these great benefits and things like that. We'll give you free this, free that, WIC and that, and this and that, and you and your kids will be fine. Yeah, we'll do all that, but yeah, there can't be a man in the home. Now you got homegirl looking at her man who probably ain't shit, but's trying to get his shit together, right? So instead of them working it out, she's like, nigga, you need to get out of here because I'm going to get all these free benefits from the government. And that's how they got you. The Democrat Party said, got him. Who was it? Lyndon B. Johnson, who allegedly said and I quote, and this is allegedly, I'll have those niggers voting Democrats for the next 200 years. Now, that quote can't be fact, but there were enough people who've said it throughout the years, and there's a lot of recordings of good old President Lyndon B. Johnson dropping the N-bomb and things like, I mean, but he said, I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And boom! Got us, huh? But that's not what the show's about. How did I even get off onto that? That led to no dads being in the house, which leads to 14-year-old drill rappers getting stabbed in the stomach on a subway. Sad. And to the kids out there, because, you know, a lot of this happens. A lot of kids out there who may be listening now, 13, 14, 15. You do the crime and you figure, yeah, I'll be out by the time I'm 18, and even when I'm 18, they'll take everything off my record and I'll be a clean citizen again and I'll be fine. To the kids who think that out there, please understand that when you're in the system, it's really hard to get out. They, and you know who I mean by they do everything they can to keep your black ass, to keep your brown ass in and out of that system for the rest of your life, because that means money. Cha-ching! That's why there's a revolving door of blacks and Latinos who thought the same thing that these kids thought at 14, 15. I'll be out by 18. My record will be clean. I'll be fine. Dude, they will do everything to keep you in the system. Make it so hard for you to function in reality that you're like, damn, I feel like I'm better off in prison. And I've talked to too many people on my show who have told me this. It's really sad. I talk to my friend Perry every Sunday, and he tells me the horrors of prison. He committed a crime at the age of 17 that put him in prison for the rest of his life, 50 to life. He's now 33 years old, 17 years in. 100% regrets it. But you know what? It doesn't matter that he regrets it, because he did the crime, and now he has to do the time. And trust me, you're going to think you're big and bad and you're all cool and stuff like that when you're committing that crime. You may even think you're big and bad a couple years into being in prison. But trust me, when you're, and this is only from me talking to people who've gone through this, when you're 17 years into a 50 to life sentence, I can almost guarantee you ain't going to be thinking it's all cool. And say, yeah, and I killed that motherfucker back in 1983. Nah, dog. You're going to be like, what the hell did I do to get myself in here? But you know what? You're going to have to sit there for the rest of your natural life. You're never going to get any pussy. You're never going to get to smoke another blunt. I mean, you may, but you know what I mean. Never be able to, just simple things. Have a beer on the lake. Go to a 4th of July picnic. So just people in general, like not even if you're just a gangster or whatever, just in general, people, if you're, be careful of what you do. Just think about how your actions today will and can affect you tomorrow. Please, be safe out there. And don't do dumb shit.